everybody, welcome back. It's second semester of virtual chemistry. Whether you are back to me from having me first semester or you're joining me for second semester, I just wanted to record a quick little video to say hello and welcome back, and to just remind you of a few things about our Canvas page. So I am going to move myself up into the top corner of my screen, and I'm just going to walk you through a couple of things. Now, this is my course from second semester, or from first semester. I've got this set to student view, but I just want to point a couple of things out to you. Make sure that you know where you can find everything. So on our homepage, remember, recent announcements will be up here at the top. We want to make sure that we can access those. They will also be available on announcements over here in the top corner. Now we've got some links underneath with our learning modules, class resources, and contact me. All of your materials for class are going to be under modules, including your agendas, your assignments, everything that you would need is going to be in modules. We'll go there in just a second. Okay, because this is a virtual class, it's really important to make sure that we have all of our digital files organized. Those will always be organized in class resources. You can actually access them two different ways, by clicking on class resources and then going to the individual pages. For those links, you will have everything linked up as how it's going to be organized, notes, labs, problem sets, and anything that's going to be additional. These files, if they are necessary for your assignment, will also be linked individually in the assignments as well. Okay? If you prefer to have hard copies of materials, those will be available for you to pick up at the bookstore. I will always send an announcement at the beginning of a new unit when those materials are going to be available. Okay, so that's class resources. There's also a module that is available that has these links in it as well. Okay, so let's talk about contact me real quick, and then we'll get into course resources. So contact me is going to give you my email, my contact information, but make sure that the quickest way to get a hold of me is going to be through Canvas messages, because that's going to go straight to me two ways, through Canvas, obviously, but then also to my email on those virtual days that we have, which are blue days in our CHS calendar. I will get to you as soon as possible as far as responding to you on those. I am assigned to teach virtual classes first, second, and third period on blue days, with fourth period being my prep period. But gold days, I have hybrid classes in person. So those days, my first priority is with my in-person students. If you are reaching out to me on gold days, please remember that I will not be able to respond to you right away. Okay, learning modules. These will always be organized with our most recent material on the top, including agendas. Should probably minimize this a little bit. Okay, followed by the materials that you need for those agendas. Okay, these agendas will also be set up so that they show up in your to-do list, and you'll have all of that pertinent information there. Okay, I will always put the days and the dates that the days will follow, as well as important announcements will be up here at the top of that agenda. Okay, and then these are organized into our 2-day class cycles. You're going to have your learning activity, which will be linked on the left-hand side, and then specific instructions in the right-hand side. Okay, the assignments themselves will also have instructions in them. Okay, but notice that these are always going to be set up to have prerequisites. Okay, so that you have to do things in order. Right? Otherwise, it's not going to show up. Okay. If for some reason you run into any issues, or you think that you should be able to view something but you can't, please make sure that you let me know. I'll be able to figure out what the issue is as quickly as possible. And then make sure that you're paying attention to whether you need to submit something, mark it as done, or just complete the activity. Okay, and that's going to be up here in your top right-hand corner. Okay. Other links that you have that are going to be important on our sidebar over here, you've got your announcements, like I pointed out before, modules, as well as your assignments, your link to your Google Drive. If you haven't set this up, to make sure that you have your CCS Google Drive authorized for your to work with your Canvas. Make sure that you do that. Because I'm set in student view right now, I can't really show you that because I can only link mine as a teacher. But then this last link that you have on here is CK12 Chemistry. This is a link to an external resource that we have online. It's kind of like an online textbook that if you need or want additional support on materials, that you can go there. You're just going to have to look by topic, and then it'll take you to a page. So for example, maybe you want to look at metric unit conversions, right? So you can go there. There'll be a little reading with some examples. I would start with the readings if you need that extra support. Most of these reading pages also include at least one video at the end if you would like that as a support. But then always know that you'll have videos from myself and the other chemistry teachers on our team as part of your learning materials. So that's what we've got in Canvas. As far as where things are and where you can find them, please remember that it is imperative that you stay up with your work and that you complete your assignments on time. Now, I know that some of you have crazy schedules where you've got like 5 or 6 classes scheduled for Blue Day and only 1 or 2 on your Gold Day. I understand that. So for me, whenever anything is assigned, I always make due dates very clear. Typical regular assignments will be due by 8 p.m. the day before our next scheduled class. Exceptions to that will be our assessments. Those due dates will be clearly communicated ahead of time. Typically, the way those work is the assessment will be unlocked at the beginning of the first day in our scheduled 2-day class periods, and it'll be due by the end of the second day. That way you have 2 full days, including the evening, morning, whenever that works out, that those have to be completed. And it's really important that you're making sure that not only that you're completing those assessments in those scheduled time windows, but also your regular assigned assignments as well. Okay, so I think that's really it for now. That's just our quick refresher. Please make sure that if you have any questions about just things in general or things that come up on your assignments, that you are reaching out to me. That's the really big downside to virtual only learning, is that if you don't reach out to me to let me know that you have a question, it's really hard for me to figure out what's going on, especially if you're not staying up with your work. Sometimes I can see based on what you've done in your assignments, whether I need to reach out to you, see if you have questions or not. But that's one of the things that I challenge you to do this semester, not just for me in chemistry, but for all of your teachers as a virtual learner, is to be proactive about reaching out to your teachers and asking questions. I can promise you, at least from my end, that I am never going to be upset if you're reaching out to me asking questions. Even if it's the same question multiple times, then to just not reach out and not understand and need help. And there's no way for me to know unless you tell me. That reminds me, as far as Zoom meetings are concerned, those will always be communicated ahead of time. I usually offer 2 or 3 different options for those, and those will be, like I said, those will be communicated ahead of time. Those aren't going to be just sprung right up on you. And regardless of when your class period is scheduled, you can join anytime. So I hope to see more and more of you joining those Zoom sessions. Those will be typically used for questions and review and not for instruction. But if you do have something that comes up and you need or want to have a Zoom meeting scheduled that is not on the calendar, reach out to me and we'll see how we can get it to work out between us. And I'm looking forward to a great semester with you all, and I hope to see you all soon.